Hey horror fans, welcome back to room 237 and trying something a little different with the lighting, so let me know how this looks. Now, I know I still have more Bava films, Hitchcock films, hell, I even still have some Monster and Hammer films to get to, stack of random movies that I've had for a while that I gotta get to. Well, for some reason, I've been on this kick of checking in with Netflix and Hulu and seeing these past decade movies to get caught up on. And this has got to be one of the most desperate examples that I've seen so far. And it came out last year, 2019's The Prodigy. Directed by Nicholas McCarthy, who directed The Pact and At the Devil's Door. Among other things, he's known for making horror films. And I believe his wife is also a filmmaker. Yeah. And it's from the producer Trip Vinson, who directed, a bunch of comedies with The Rock. Mostly that's what it lists. Live action prequel to Aladdin, great. But on the cover, it says the producer of Exorcism of Emily Rose. Stars Taylor Schilling as the mother, Jackson Robert Scott, who is Georgie in the new Stephen King It films, Colm Fior. Yeah, I wanted to see what this guy was in because he kind of looks like Richard Jenkins. Chronicles of Riddick, Borgia, 21 Thunder, House of Cards, 24. I know I've seen him in stuff. Face Off. Not that it really matters. But he was also in Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yeah, not really that important. He plays the child psychologist. Now, I remember when this movie came out, or was coming out, I don't even think I saw a trailer. It was the official Facebook page, actually. It was a suggested post. And I think it was just a still of, the kid with the half-face skeleton makeup with the tagline, "What's wrong with Miles?" And I clicked on the comments because the comments are exactly what I was thinking. I liked it better when it was called The Omen. I didn't even like the last Omen remake. Are they remaking Orphaned? I liked it better when they called it Orphaned. This movie really is both of those. It's Orphaned, The Omen, with a little bit of Child's Play. With very, very, very little that works. Even the design of the title itself looks just like the fucking Omen. And it was kind of funny because the official Prodigy page would reply to every comment. Must have been copy and paste. It said Miles is unique in his own disturbing way. See the movie and it would give a link to whatever. And yeah, it's on Hulu. That's how I saw it. And this movie is so fucking desperate to be the next creepy kid movie. They really want Miles to be the new Damien or the new Esther or hell, even that stupid movie The Boy. But this is probably going to be forgotten just as much as The Boy, even though The Boy got a sequel. In the first 5 minutes, you know exactly the setup of this film. You have a woman stumbling around. She's missing a hand. She's escaped somewhere. Simultaneously, this woman is going into labor. So, handless woman gets rescued. There's the SWAT team at this killer's house. She's about to give birth. Right when the killer is gunned down by the SWAT team, the newborn baby is born. And the CGI bullet holes on the killer, because he's naked, there's like similar birth juice marks in the same spots on the torso as the baby. Which, yeah, I'm pretty sure the CGI on the blood on the body was CGI. And that baby looked animatronic. If that was real, something wrong with that baby. I mean, so right there, opening scene, we know exactly what's wrong with Miles. Why would your tagline be, what's wrong with Miles, if you're just going to tell us in the first 5 minutes? Hell, Orphaned, something's wrong with Esther, or something's up with Esther. We don't find out what's up with Esther until, like, the third act, well into the third act. So what helps create that suspense and tension is that we don't know what's wrong with this fucked up kid. And so we get little bits of him as a toddler, like he can already speak fluently when he's a toddler. He's exceptionally smart. He's brilliant. Then we jump to when he's 8. So it's 2018. Opening scene happened in 2010. This kid Miles is very smart. Doesn't really exhibit any kind of odd behavior until one night with his babysitter, again, think child's play, he wants to play hide and seek before bed. So she counts to 10, she looks, he's standing right in front of her. Which, I will say this kid does do a good job when he gets to do something. I mean, when he's all scared, like, Mommy, Mommy. Okay. But when he actually gets a chance to do sinister shit, he does an alright job. But half the time, that just consists of him blank evil stares. And she's like, you okay? Do you want more time? So she counts. She looks for him in the basement. There's a broken drinking glass that she steps on. So there's the first thing. Then we see him at school. He wants to be partners with this one girl, but this other kid's already working with her. He goes to the janitor's closet, grabs a huge-ass monkey wrench, and starts beating the hell out of him. And this is... Oh, and he also has 2 different colored eyes, hazel and blue, as did the serial killer. Which, I want to get the actor that played the serial killer. The killer's name is Edward Sarka. Paul Fotio. Probably mispronounced that. It's a French name. But I know I sound like shit. I mean, it was made on a $6 million budget, so even though it's very modest, $21.1 million in the box office, still kind of a hit. And this is when the movie really gets stupid. Oh, the cut that's on Hulu is 92 minutes, but I guess the original cut is 100 minutes. So there's 8 more minutes somewhere that serves some purpose. She takes Miles to this psychiatrist, and at first he talks about, Sometimes I don't remember things. Sometimes when I sleep, I leave my body, or he's up here. The psychiatrist is very quick to say, well, I can't do anything. Try these people. And then the mom, played by Taylor Schilling, who does do a good job. She does a good job at just playing the mom that's at the end of her rope, bags under her eyes. And she gives her this tape recorder, because earlier Miles is asleep, he's talking in his sleep. She records it, because it sounds like gibberish, and in my head I'm like, don't fucking... If he's speaking Latin, I'm out, because how more cliche can this get? It's not Latin. She gives it to this other psychiatrist, played by Combe Fiore. Probably pronounced that wrong too. And he says, no, it's Hungarian. And he's saying stuff like, die, bitch, I'll choke you, cut your hand off, all the sick shit. And this is right when I knew this movie does not give a fuck about common sense, logic, anything. It's so desperately trying to get... It wants to be the new spooky kid movie, and it really wants you to believe that what's happening is what's happening. That's why they give you the setup in the first 5 minutes. Because the psychiatrist from before, the female, is there, and a psychologist, psychiatrist, I'm sure you have to have some sort of degree in this, behavioral science, any of that stuff. They immediately jump to reincarnation. Really? Really? Even in The Exorcist, there's a scene between Ellen Burstyn and Father Damien Karras that exorcisms don't really exist anymore because the scientific discovery of mental illness. They could have done any of that shit first. Yes, the female psychologist hints towards, is there abuse in the family or someone close to the family? They kind of tiptoe. They fucking stampede right across it. That's your first thought. Reincarnation. Psychiatrists, psychologists who understand. That was just what I knew. This movie doesn't give a shit. It doesn't. And so, yes, obviously, this Edward Sarka serial killer is reincarnated in Miles. And we get some shit here and there, like the family has a dog, so the dog gets it, and it does. We find out the dad was beaten and abused as a kid, but they sort of keep that between the marriage. They don't really talk about it. But while driving with Miles, he kind of taunts the dad about that. You gonna hit me like your dad did you? He's such a piece of shit, but you're a great dad to me. They find out that he has a baby monitor set up in their room and he's spying on him. So the dad leaves so he can figure shit out. And it doesn't really do anything to build tension. This movie did get praise for its performances and its atmosphere. Performances, I can agree. No atmosphere. I can say it's a good-looking movie. It looks well made. There's some cool shots. Some are kind of silly. There's one shot that's ripped straight out of Annabelle, which I'd probably say I liked this better than Annabelle, because Annabelle was just a boring piece of shit. The scene in Annabelle when she sees the little girl across the hall, and the door starts to shut. The little girl runs towards her. But when she gets to the door and it flies open, she's a full-grown woman. That jump scare, that happens in this. Miles is running towards her. And there's like shadows. And right when he gets up to her, he's the full-grown serial killer. He grabs her, which I guess that's in the trailer. And of course, because of all these horror movies, they have a quick jump scare that they put in the trailer that's a fake out dream sequence. Always. Fucking always. And then there's one. He's sitting at his desk in his bedroom doing something. And she says, hey, get ready for bed. Dog makes a noise, so she looks. And she turns back to him. He's got like the body of an 8-year-old, but like the head and face of the serial killer. He does like a quick look and then turns around, and it's like the 8-year-old. So it's like this, a full-grown adult face on this tiny head and body of an 8-year-old. The Prodigy of Benjamin Button. It's a creepy image, but then when you think about it, it's very fucking silly. The only scene that really made me go, okay, this... Because, like Orphaned, you gotta have him say some dirty, filthy shit. And the one scene that I thought was smart, sort of clever or well-written, is, okay, this serial killer is a master manipulator. Apparently he's like Hannibal fucking Lecter, because he's able to, just kind of a puppeteer everyone around him. Yeah, I thought he was just, a fucking hand killer, like the season 8 South Park Cartman's Incredible Gift. She brings him back to the guy psychiatrist. He's putting him under hypnosis, which even the metronome looks fucking CGI. And he's trying to figure out the identity of who Miles is sharing his body with. And of course, the serial killer comes out. And again, this is the one scene. He says, what would Sarah, the mother, think if I told her, you put me under hypnosis and I woke up with your cock in my mouth? And then the police will find drugs in my system, drugs consistent with all the ones in your cabinet that was given to me against my will, even though it was given to his mother to give to him. And then and then he was like, and if that doesn't work, maybe they will find the pubic hair that I took from the front of your toilet in place. And then the camera gets up here and he's like, in my teeth. So I'm like, okay. Clever manipulator. That he's definitely got the psychiatrist in a position. But then the psychiatrist is just like, you can see him kind of stare. He's like, you're insane. Like it's the first patient ever talked back to him. Lousy psychiatrist. What good of a degree does he have if his first conclusion is reincarnation, and then the first time someone says, I'll just do this to you, you're insane. Also, even if you don't share it, you keep it for your own files and confidentiality. Don't psychiatrists record sessions so they can listen to it later and figure shit out? Could he just use that? No. No cameras, no recording devices. But of course, and the whole time, it looks sped up. He's like scratching. He's like holding the couch. He's like scratching. I guess Miles scratches the name or a hint in the couch. The psychiatrist Googles it, calls the mother, says it's this Edward Sarka. And around this time, they find the body of the dog. The dad's already had enough. This is when the mother starts becoming more, how do I fix this? And the scene with the dad, they send him to school. And I thought this scene, they didn't really do much with it. Because the dad barges in to take him home, or to take him away from school. But Miles isn't acknowledging him. He's trying to get him angry. So he can look kind of like, Miles, in front of the teacher. I was like, okay. He could have done a little bit more playing around like that. But, you know, to get people to sort of check the parents out a little bit. But no. Oh, we find out that the survivor of the serial killer with the missing hand from the beginning of the movie wrote a book about her experience. So, the parents decide to send Miles to this place. And this is what's so fucking stupid. You know your kid is dangerous. You know your kid is not going to like where he's going. So the dad tells him anyway while he's driving. And then, you know, his seatbelt gets cut. It's like the garden shears they used to kill the dog. Stabs him in the side. Car goes crazy, crashes a tree. And I will say the kid, he's a good actor, but, you know, when he's trying to do his, looks kind of silly. You just kind of want to punch him. So he's in critical condition, and that's when the mother realizes his purpose for inhabiting a new body, his unfinished business, is to kill the victim that got away. Now, as dumb of an idea as this is, well, I'm sure reincarnation can work if you put effort into it and not try to be the Omen or the Orphan or Orphan. It could be done. But even if you don't believe in reincarnation, like I don't, I know I said that reincarnation, like I don't, you're familiar with the concept, and I always thought bad or evil people come back as something bad. Like this guy should have come back as like a sewer rat or a dung beetle. Or some shit. Which I know. Willing suspension of disbelief, but I thought you gotta put some effort. Like, it's literally like someone said, okay, I want a serial killer to inhabit the body of an 8-year-old via reincarnation, make it work. What about this, this, and this? Doesn't matter. I wonder if there's a Screen Rant pitch meetings of this. I'll have to look that up. So that's when the mother decides that she's going to take Miles to the survivor's house and kill her. To, you know, finish his unfinished business so he can leave Miles's body. And of course it doesn't go well. And this is, I should have said spoilers earlier on. I apologize. But I don't really care about this movie. Of course, Miles gets to kill, I mean, in the worst way. Because she's sitting there talking to the survivor in her home. She finds out the survivor has kids that she didn't know about. Because she didn't put it in her book. But you're doing your research on this woman to find out where she lives. You probably would have come across it somehow. So, you know, she's trying to, so she doesn't want to kill her because she's a mother, but she has her at gunpoint, she's going to, and then Miles is just standing there. He's like, what do you like better? He has a knife. Blue or hazel? Blue or hazel? Keeps doing that. She's like, that's what he said the night I met him. And this goes on for like 10, 15 seconds. and then he stabs her. The whole time, the mother has a gun already pointed at her, so pretty much almost at him. She could have said, hey, yeah, get away from him. Or fired a warning shot to get him away from her? No. It's not until he stabs her does she go, oh, wait, Miles. Of course, he kills her. And then he runs outside. She chases him. And that's when he said, you know, Miles hasn't been present for a while. It's been me. Then he does his, mommy, mommy, to show he can fake it. And then just as she's about to shoot him, she gets shot by a hunter who thinks it's just a crazy woman trying to kill a kid. And then CPS takes him. He goes into like this foster family while his dad's recovering. I guess they're just going to give him back to the dad. And it ends with him looking in the reflection and seeing the adult serial killer. This movie, it felt like it tried so hard to, like, why had the tagline with something to do with what's wrong with Miles? Why would that be your tagline on the poster and in the trailers if you're just going to tell us in 5 minutes? Isn't that what made Orphaned, you know, very interesting? That about 75% of the way through, we're like, oh, that's what that is. Hell, even in the Omen, at least when it came out, because, I mean, it's a popular movie now. Everyone knows it, but you didn't really find out he was the son of the devil until a good chunk of the way in. So they tell us what's wrong with Miles in the first 5 minutes. So that alone is almost not even worth the ticket price. The performances are good. Sometimes the kid looks kind of silly. Some of the scares, like when he's the kid with the adult face, creepy at first, but gets silly. The fake out dream sequence is predictable and cheap. And I feel like it's just so desperate to be those other creepy kid movies that it didn't even care about story. The one scene that I thought worked was the hypnosis in the psychiatrist's office, but even that was flawed. Yeah, so I just found this movie to be very dumb. I found it to be, super desperate. More desperate than it was willing to disprove that it's desperate. And of course it's set up for a sequel. If it gets one, I don't even know if I'll be surprised, but yeah. This is, Orphan is miles and miles better. The Omen is monumentally, you know, otherworldly better. Just no scares. Even the dialogue itself was kind of clumsy and cheesy. Good performances, good cinematography, and it looked good. The pacing is all over the place because it just full steam ahead to get everything crammed into the first act. Then it kind of takes its time with Miles being creepy, and then it just steamrolls right to the end. So the pacing is uneven. The writing is lazy. It's just like they don't, I don't even really know how to word it. It's just lazy. I mean, to have psychologists and psychologists, their first thing being incarnation because he can speak another language, or his change of appetite, or taste of food. Yeah, I actually couldn't even laugh at this movie. I was just like, because I actually felt bad for it. I was like, This movie's trying so hard to be the Omen and Orphan, but it's just so that to the point it's kind of sad. And yeah, I didn't like this movie at all. But thank you for watching.